Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. Tonight I'm bringing you episode 2 of crocheting with blanket yarn. Now most of you who have been with me for a while, and hello to anybody that's new, may know, or now you'll know, that I have been blessed and I'm very lucky to have the dilemma of owning way too much blanket yarn. So I've had to decide that I need to use it. My stash is humongous and there's no point in it just sitting there. So I asked for all of you to give me some suggestions, which you already did, and I've noted them. I have blanket yarn in plain colors, like solid colors such as this one up here. I have a huge quantity because one of my recent yarn hauls was Millends, which is a lot of the variegated yarn in various colors. And I also lucky enough to own some sparkle blanket yarn. I'm not sure if you can see that sparkle in there. So because I do have so much, I thought, okay, that gives me opportunity to create various projects with it. And one thing that I really wanted to make was something from this book. Now, this book was gifted to me by my lovely mum about 2 months ago, and it does have supersized crochet projects in there, knowing full well that I had all this blanket yarn. But when I read through the book, I realized that a lot of it actually uses yarn that's even supersized, so even bigger than mine. But I have managed to, obviously, like all of us know how to do this, and if you don't, well, here's a little tip. If you adjust your yarn and your hook size to a project that you really want to make, just be mindful that depending if you go up and down hook sizes, you're going to get the same projects just in a different size. Now, what I wanted to create from this book is a beautiful tote bag. I will show you the bag, but before we start, I'll show you the yarn that I've chosen to use for this project, and then you can see the beautiful bag in the book, and also the little tote bag that I've actually made. So I have a variety of blanket yarn, as I said, and most of it has come in Millends, so I wasn't quite sure what size hook to use, but I did go by the ball band on the sparkly yarn. So I've used this one here, which is actually very different to all of my other blanket yarn. It's quite a textured yarn. It's a little bit paler in color than I think it's showing on camera, but it's more of a white, creamy white color. So it's absolutely gorgeous. And then I also used this color from the Millends, which I absolutely love. And to team it all up, I used this gorgeous sparkly orange color. Now, blanket yarn, for those of you who may not know, is 100% polyester, which makes it really soft and squishy. This one's a beautiful, like a light blue color. And then we have this beautiful deeper blue. Absolutely love that color as well. And they were the 3 sparkle yarns that you saw. Now, the hook that I used for this project was a number 8. And I went off what the recommendation was from this ball band here. Now, this is a value glitter blanket yarn. It's absolutely beautiful, and I did purchase mine at Spotlight. I do believe there's a little sale on at the moment, whoever lives in Australia and New Zealand, and they reduced from $18 to $12 per 300 gram ball. But my Millends were 400 grams for $6 when I purchased them. So these both came out of Millend bags. So let me show you the little tote bag and the adjustments that I made so that you can see. Well, the only adjustments that I made, guys, was actually just changing the hook size and the yarn. So here it is here. It's called the Ombre Circles Tote. And as you can see, it is huge. Pardon the light, the glare, but there you can see the pattern there. But I actually fell in love with it when I first saw it. So in actual fact, I'm actually much happier with the hook size that I used in the yarn, because the original size would have been a little bit too big for me. But here it is here. Absolutely love it. There's its little handles. There it is up close. You can see the sparkle in there. Now here we have the side panel and the bottom, which is actually one piece. So what the size that my little handbag, because I'm not calling it a tote, I'm calling it a handbag, is actually 8 inches or 20 centimeters square, so that you make your squares. And be mindful that you may not all own this book, excuse me, but if you crochet any granny square that you've fallen in love with, you'll get the same result. So it's with an 8-inch, 8mm hook and this blanket yarn. It's 8 inches or 20 centimeters square, and then the side panel and the bottom panel are 5 centimeters or 2 inches deep. So all the way in, so your bag has that nice area in there to use, to put your little things in. So in here, I can fit, my glasses, a phone, my keys, and there's still ample rooms for a few little other things in there as well. And the handle measures around 30 centimeters, like each side, 30 centimeters or 12 inches. But be mindful that this one, I just like to have it over my wrist. But if you want to have a shoulder bag, all you have to do is just make, quite obviously, a longer handle on both sides, of course. So, that might be a little conversion that you want to make. But as we said, in essence, it's 2 granny squares or 2 squares. Then you make your side panel and your handles any length that you wish to. Now the original pattern, because they used a 15mm hook and a supersized bulky yarn, weight yarn, it actually turns out to be about 34 centimeters or I think 13.5 inches the square, so it's a lot bigger, and it is a little bit deeper. So that's just something to be mindful of, guys. You can convert any pattern to suit your needs and the yarn and hook size that you have. So I am definitely going to endeavor to make quite a few other projects out of this book. I think there are actually 20 in total, which I have so many great ideas now. I absolutely love them all. And there's, like I said, I fell in love with that bag the minute that I opened this book up. So, please stay tuned for episode 3. I'm not sure if it's going to be out of this book or what the next make will be, because I am really enjoying working with the blanket yarn. At first, I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to see the stitches, because I don't know if some of you haven't actually worked with blanket yarn. There it is on top. So you've got to be, quite vigilant in the beginning and mindful, and that's what I did. I was going very slow to make sure I was going into each stitch, so I was trying to make myself aware of where each and every little V was. But when you get used to it, it's quite easy to work with, and it is a lovely, lovely yarn. As I said, very, very squishy yarn. I absolutely love working with it, and it does make quite a nice fabric, very sturdy. And I really, really enjoy, the end result. So that was episode 2. We have a little bag out of it. Now, episode 1, please go and watch it if you haven't already done so, because so far we've made a little penguin with our blanket yarn. He is the sweetest little thing. And now we have a bag. So 2 episodes down, 2 very, very gorgeous and useful makes. I have absolutely loved working these up for you, and I hope that you've enjoyed them. If you make any bags of your own, or if you've already made some, please send them to me or let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear about them. Or if you have any other patterns you'd like to share with all of us, we would absolutely be open and very welcoming to that as well. So guys, I hope that you're all keeping well and you've had some crochet time in as well. I will definitely be bringing you more ideas to crochet with blanket yarn, because I think that most of us, including myself, our first go-to when we think of blanket yarn is creating a blanket. I certainly have done that in the past, and as a blanket, it is very, very warm. Like the blanket that I made for my son, and I have showed it on this channel before. Maybe I'll bring it out another one of the other episodes and just show it to you as well. It's a very, very, very warm fabric. But when it comes to, the little amigurumis and the little, I'm sure it's going to be wonderful for creating things like, cushion covers and things like that. It's actually quite a nice fabric as well, and lovely to, sit on or touch. So, you know, like I look forward and I'm very excited to be creating things with the blanket yarn for you because, as I said, some of you did say that you've never actually used it before. So this might give you some ideas, or at least you'll be able to see, you know, what you can create with it. You know, maybe you can, you know, be interested in it, be inspired to use it, or just think it's not for me. But for me, it definitely is for me because I have way too much. So I will endeavor to make as many projects, you know, using the blanket yarn for myself and obviously to showcase and for you to, you know, get the ideas as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're all keeping well. So take care and I shall see you all in another video. Bye bye everybody.